The Himalayan snow spirit is an Indian story. Once upon a time, in the deep valleys of the Indian Himalayas, snow spirits lived. Her name is Severina. Severina was the spirit of winter snow, responsible for the dance of snow that enveloped the Himalayan mountains. Her role is to make the snow fall and make the mountains shine white. And the snow was also an important source of water that supported the lives of mountain creatures and the people of the village. Severina lived alone in an ice palace on top of a mountain. She had never seen it before, but many felt its power. When the snow fell, the villagers were grateful, believing it to be a gift from Severina, and when the snow stopped, they rejoiced that it was a sign that Severina had ended the winter. One cold winter, Alan, a boy living in a village at the foot of the mountain, was suffering with the villagers in a snowy land. The snow that falls every year seems to be a bit lacking this year. The snowmelt water is not enough, the crops in the village had begun to wither, and the villagers were in trouble. Alan's family was no exception, suffering from a lack of water. Alan wanted to know why it didn't snow no matter how hard the villagers tried. Why isn't it snowing this year? If it snows, crops will grow and water should be available. Alan was troubled, but he decided that he had to do something to save the village. Alan consulted with the village elders. The elder said quietly, "Alan, it is Severina's power that makes the snow fall. But Severina has a reason. There must be some meaning to the fact that it doesn't snow. But if you want snow, you have to climb to the top of the Himalayas and meet Severina." With those words in mind, Alan made up his mind to climb the Himalayan mountains. "I'm going to meet Severina and ask her to let me snow." Having made this decision, Alan got ready and headed for the mountain. As he continued on the steep mountain road, Alan was enveloped in snow and ice. Shivering from the cold, he never gave up and continued to climb the mountain. After walking for many days, I finally reached the top of the mountain, and a beautiful ice palace appeared in front of me. Alan was convinced that the snow spirit Severina lived there. Alan mustered up the courage to knock on the palace door. Then, surrounded by a faint light, Severina appeared. Her figure was a beautiful woman, white as snow, cold as ice, but somehow warm. "What's the use, boy?" Severina asked quietly. Alan replied nervously. "I am Alan, a boy from the village. Our village has not had snow this year, crops have not grown, and there is not enough water. Please let it snow. For our lives, give us snow." Severina stared at Alan silently for a while. In those eyes were kindness and deep wisdom. And she said quietly, "Snow is meaningless if you just let it fall. Unless your village is really ready to accept snow, I can't let it snow." Alan was surprised by those words. "What do you mean?" Severina continued. "Snow nurtures life, but it is given to those of you who value nature and are prepared to live with it. If you waste nature and forget to be grateful, it will not snow." Alan thought for a while. True, I remembered that in the village there were times when water was wasted and trees in the mountains were cut down in vain. He made up his mind. We value nature. Without waste, use water and protect the tree. And we all work together. Severina heard the words and smiled slightly. You are honest and have a pure heart. If your village is really ready to change, I will make it snow. At that moment, a white light emitted from Severina's hand, and snow began to fall softly from the sky. Snow covered the mountains and also fell on the villages, giving the river a new source of water. The villagers were overjoyed and filled with gratitude. Alan was deeply grateful to Severina and returned to the village. And together with the villagers, they vowed to use the snow carefully and live in harmony with nature. From now on, no matter how harsh the winter is, the village vowed to cherish Severina's gifts and live in their hearts. End.